When you're trying not to party every weekend, when you're trying not to stay up late with your partner watching shows like you guys used to, it might feel like a big sacrifice because that is where you used to be. You shouldn't be judgmental towards people who, let's say that there is a lot of things that they're trying to work on, but they don't have the right habits for it, right? You shouldn't be judgmental. But if you find yourself in if you're like, you're trying to make some changes this new year, you're trying to get in better shape, you're trying to work on a bunch of things that you weren't able to work on this year.
And it ain't working.
And it ain't working. But also, let's say that some of the people closest to you, they don't have good habits as far as those things are concerned. This is where this really does come into play, because I know so many people who the people that they're around don't reflect the place that they want to be, right? The people that they're around aren't doing things like the people that they want to be like, right? So you might have to drop some of those habits. And when you're trying to drop some of those habits, when you're trying not to drink every weekend, when you're trying not to party every weekend, when you're trying not to stay up late with your partner watching shows like you guys used to, it might feel like a big sacrifice because that is where you used to be. But continuing to do those habits, even though you miss it, it's super fun, etc., continuing to do those things, it's probably not going to allow you to get the results you're looking for. So you're going to have to sacrifice right now to get to that spot. It's just something you have to do. It doesn't mean you drop those people, but there's going to be less time spent doing those things, and there's probably going to be less time spent with those people, and that is quite literally the price you have to pay to get to that spot that you want to be at.
Instant gratification isn't really that hard to abstain from until it's waved around in your face kind of like over and over again, and then you're around other people that are engaging in instant gratification, and then you just really feel like you're really missing out, and it's like again, as much as you don't want to be judgmental, you kind of can't, you almost feel like you can't help but almost feel like that you're being a better person or doing something better than what they're doing because they're drinking and you're waking up in the morning and running.
Yeah.
It's a weird place to get to, but ultimately you'll have to push off instant gratification. Like, I think that pushing off instant gratification is a really awesome way for people to be really, really happy, because if you can make something of yourself, and I don't mean make something of yourself in the eyes of everyone else, I just mean for yourself. You feel a little bit stronger because you've been exercising. You feel a little bit healthier because you've been making better food choices. Maybe you lost a little bit of weight. Well, now you feel a little bit more confident in yourself. You feel a little bit better about yourself. But it's hard to have any of those types of feelings. They can't really even be authentic because they're not coming from deep down within you. They're not coming from like your gut, because you haven't really taken the steps yet to do the things that you've been talking about for so long, and you know that. And so when you say things, they're not as powerful or as strong as they would be had you developed and turned into the person that you want. Listening to someone like a David Goggins, who is shouting, he's so like misunderstood sometimes, to the point where I've been turned off by his stuff. I think anyone who's ever listened
You helped me get turned on by his
stuff.
Yeah,
right? It's because he's just in a different place, and it's a different moment in his life. And he for him personally, it appears that he had to kill, like literally kill, all those old feelings, all those old thoughts. And they're still there, because he'll say, I wake up and I'm looking at my shoes for 30 minutes before I go on my run. He kind of still will dread it, and he'll still have to kind of talk himself into it. And the process of all that's going to be different for every single person. But trust me, without even ever meeting David Goggins in person, I know that that's coming from an authentic spot, because he's put himself through some stuff that has allowed him to feel super confident in himself. And you don't have to kill yourself to that level, probably, just to feel better about yourself. But you do have to push yourself a little bit further and to be a little bit more uncomfortable than you used to be.
Yeah, I know you're enjoying this episode, but I have a question for you. Are you still dieting off of broccoli, chicken, and rice, and maybe tilapia if you want to spice things up? Well, it's 2021. We're past that. That's why we've partnered with Piedmontese Beef. Now, Piedmontese is an amazing company that has cuts of beef that are really high fat or cuts of beef that are low fat. So if you are dieting on a low fat diet, you don't need to resort to the weak bird of chicken You can instead eat some beef, eat some steak, and still end up getting the results you're looking for. So, Andrew, can you tell the people how to get it?
Yes, you guys got to head over to Piedmontese.com. That's Piedmontese.com. At checkout, enter promo code Power Project for 25% off your entire order. And if your order is $150 or more, you get free 2-day shipping. Links to them down in the description, as well as the podcast show notes. Let's get back to the podcast.
I want to address something that you mentioned, man, the FOMO aspect of things, the fear of missing out. When you said that, that gave me flashbacks to somebody I knew. And every time that they would try it, and I know a few other people like this, every time they would try and have an intention of doing something for themselves or working on their health, working on their fitness, working on the other things, they would try it for a little bit, but then they would see Instagram stories of what their friends were doing. And that fear of missing out had them dive right back into the bad habits. It was like clockwork. A week good, weekend right back. Then bad for a few weeks, right? A week good, then right back. Because of that FOMO, because they're being dragged back into those bad habits. And it's like, it's what you pay attention to. You know what I mean? Like, for example, David Goggins, right? All of my feeds on all of my social media is literally filled with stuff like that, right? Like with all that that's what's constantly coming in. So when I see something, it's like, I don't have FOMO of any, like, I guess I've been in this for so long anyway, in terms of this lifestyle, that's far gone, but it doesn't even have a chance to permeate my existence because I don't allow it to. That's why a lot of this stuff is easier. And I'd assume it's the same for you. You know a lot of people, you have a lot of friends, but with the stuff that's continuing to come into you through your feeds, through everything, and you too, Andrew, both you guys probably aren't getting this input that's making you miss out on anything that old friends were doing or anything that would drag you back into bad habits because you've insulated yourself.
Yeah, it was helpful for me, first of all, to not have Instagram on my phone. I'll still pop it on here and there, but I find myself that I can still get sucked in just like anybody else and still have too much like junk that I'm consuming. It's like junk thoughts rather than like junk food, you know, and it's called the feed for a reason. Like once you eat something, you know, like it becomes kind of part of you. Yeah. Once you see something, you can't really unsee it no matter what you do. And it might not be anything negative, but you may have interpreted it as something negative, or you may have interpreted it as something you're missing out on. Most of the stuff that I have FOMO about, I would say would be more positive stuff.
Yeah.
Like I do see David Goggins running and I'm like, fuck, man, I gotta go do my shit today too. Or I might be like, I didn't quite get it the way I needed to get it today. Like I better bring it tomorrow and just have a stronger workout. So it's a lot of stuff like that. Even seeing Josh Setledge every morning.
Oh my God.
Getting after it, stretching, doing all these exercises, and just having a lot of friends that are Rob and Dana Lynn Bailey and Bart and Gio, and like they're with Bart, he's got like the coolest Instagram ever because you're seeing a lot of great family interaction. Yeah. Plus he's funny as hell, so he's having a lot of fun. Yeah. Then he's in the gym. Then he's like, you know, doing martial arts. I mean, that guy is an absolute beast. So most of the stuff I see is more like, oh shit, like I want to do that. Or sometimes it's just like, oh, I wish I was kicking it with that person for today.
Yeah. I was wondering if you're going to say anything about a private jet, but nah, nothing. Like FOMO, like I wish I had a jet.
Oh yeah, no, sometimes. I mean, I just mentioned it on the last show. It's funny that you brought it up because, no, I do see like that because I have friends that have like some crazy shit, you know, but I have learned, you know, seeing like Grant Cardone or Andy Frisella or some of these people that have really, really cool things, I have learned that I can just acquire those things if I just set myself up for it, you know. Maybe, you know, and another thing is just part of knowing who you are is knowing who you're not. And that ain't me. I'm not them. They're not me. My life situation is different than theirs. And so there's kind of a lot of stuff. Like there's a lot of cool things. I always think of like Rob Bailey because I think like Rob Bailey's a rock star. Like that's fucking awesome. Like he actually is a musician and but he knows how to film. He knows how to do photos. He knows how to edit. He knows how to run a business. Like it's wild the amount of shit that guy knows how to do. He's a pilot. He has a helicopter. I mean, it's just,
Damn.
yeah, I know, right? So it's like, but Bart is the same way. Like Bart is a former Marine, and he's just a total savage, you know? So it's easy sometimes to look at what these people can do and how they're able to do it, and to not only have FOMO, but to just flat out be kind of jealous of it. But also, it's like, I don't want to be in the fucking Marine Corps. So fuck that. Like, I don't want any part of that. And I don't want the different problems that Rob Bailey may have. I don't want the different problems that Bart has. I'm comfortable with my own situation and my own problems that I got going on. And so while it is enticing sometimes to see those things, I'm like, those don't fall in line with some of my current goals and some of the things I'm working on.
Hey, little mama, let me whisper in your ear. Like, comment, subscribe to the channel because we continue to bring you peak content on this channel. Obviously, you guys are here. You guys watched the whole video. So like, comment, subscribe. All right. See you later.